Never seen an economy like this since the Great Depression. And, you know, right over the hills here, there are two homeless little towns, I guess you call them shack towns, plywood, tents, all that right off the freeway here, on both sides of the freeway, right across from the casino. And we are seeing, no doubt, an epidemic of homelessness right out here. I'm not talking Los Angeles, I'm talking right out here in the desert. And unfortunately, so many people...
Very sad to see.
So many people who once had jobs and homes or apartments and careers, many of these people are now going to be threatened with the realization that they could land up homeless. And I'm looking at this article right now on Bloomberg. Eviction filings by big landlords surged after president issued ban. Now, if you're a tenant and you don't understand, you need to fill out this certain paperwork and you have to give it to your landlord. If you haven't done that, your landlord has the ability to evict you. And many people who don't understand that, who didn't file out the proper paperwork, are right now being evicted. And this is going to be a huge problem. Now, you've all heard and heard the news that America right now, that there are 40 million people that could potentially be evicted by the end of this year. And now there is a rent moratorium going on, but if you didn't fill out the paperwork, you are at a major threat here of being evicted. But what happens when the moratoriums run out of time?
Well, you're going to see people being homeless. You're going to see people out on the street. You know, there's no other real choice unless these landlords give them a break somehow. But
the landlord's got he's got a mortgage.
They got to pay their bills.
Yep.
You know, it's very tough situation we are all in. You know, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. You know, this infection has caused this whole shutdown since the beginning. We've been in this since March. We're going into
we'll be going into October.
7
soon.
months,
Yeah.
pretty soon.
So we've had over 60 million people in 25 weeks file for unemployment benefits. We're seeing many, many more people homeless. And one thing, now, I'm sure this is happening in your area. I'm seeing it all over. I'm seeing multiple families or multiple people living in homes, living in apartments.
Oh, yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, I mean, just like my neighbors that I mentioned before, my neighbors, their kids moved in with them, and all their grandkids moved in with them. So we got, you know, maybe 4 or 5 families living in a 4-bedroom house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's unfortunate, you know, that we're having to all go through this and seeing what's really out there. It's getting very, very worrisome, and it's almost this eerie feeling that things aren't going to get better anytime soon.
Yeah, especially when you see all the smoke in the sky. I apologize about all the noise, but we're right off the road here. When you see all the smoke out here, it looks literally apocalyptic here in California. Just really, really eerie.
Hard to breathe.
We've had just the most incredible heat of any summer. You see all these homeless people wandering around. You just hear all the desperation, people complaining that they don't have any money, they've lost a job, a family member's lost a job, somebody's being evicted, somebody's being forced to sell their house. Just so many problems.
Lost their jobs. Mm-hmm. Many people have lost jobs. A lot of service sector jobs.
This is a service sector town.
Yeah, exactly. This economy that we live in is very affluent to the Canadians, and the Canadians like coming here. But I was just hearing on the radio on the way here to meet with Jeremiah that a lot of Canadians won't be coming back this winter because of the infection, which ain't good for our local economy.
Yeah, it's going to really hurt our economy.
Because the dollars won't be coming down here.
So we have roughly about 5 casinos out here. We're looking at a casino across the street, and a new one being built right now in Cathedral City. So the Canadians don't come, so they don't buy real estate.
They don't come gamble their dollars.
They don't come play golf on the golf courses. They don't eat at the restaurants. They don't support the local retailers. And they make up a huge part of this economy here. And they're just either being affected financially, or many of them are just plain out scared to even travel. So we're going to see huge consequences here now because of this crisis coming. Our season starts next month, and we're going to see what this season is going to do.
Sometimes we would see the early birds start arriving about right now
yeah.
because the weather's already starting to break, and
we're going to see what this season has in store for the Palm Springs area. But I think it's going to probably be one of the worst in my time of living out here, probably the worst you've ever seen.
Which is very, very unfortunate for all of us, because some of us do work in that area where we pick up that extra side hustle when these people are in town.
And you working in security, you depend on extra jobs, and when the money's not out here and when there's not events out here, we lost Coachella Fest, we lost Stagecoach, two of the biggest music events in the entire world, we lost the biggest tennis tournament in the world right out here. So this has already cost multi-millions of dollars. Massive amount of vacancies, restaurants, retailers closed down. Here's another article. Wisconsin Food Bank warns we're not going back to normal anytime soon. Let's talk about people and food shortages. What do you see?
I just tell everybody, if you can buy and stock up on canned foods, if you have the means to do so, if you could go to a food bank and get it, do what you got to do, because of a food shortage can happen. We are in uncertain times and uncertainty. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. If you could get food and supplies, I highly recommend you get it.
Yeah, if you can go to a discount store and buy an extra $10 a week of canned food or whatever. I mean, I don't think that most people can really comprehend how bad this is going to get. And you and I have been, friends for a few years, and we've been making, you've been on the show for the past few years, and I've probably known you about 6 years, and you go back about 3 years ago plus when we just started making these videos, and we just saw it just eroding slowly but surely, step by step. The economy was eroding. Look, it crashed in 2008. It never got fixed. And it just seems like at some point you got to pay the piper. And we're getting very close to that point. This endless money printing, people now dependent on the government for food, dependent on the government for money. Now people are literally being debt slaves now to the government. Their businesses dependent with triple P loans. So what happens? These businesses down where you work, many of them took triple P loans. What happens when they can't pay it back?
Well, that's the name of the game is they're going to have to shut down. They won't survive if they took that money and they can't pay it back, or they blew it somehow.
Many of these businesses,
that's the end game.
Many of these businesses thought we would be out of this by now, and they burned through the triple P money probably months ago. And again, you could say this whole thing's a ticking time bomb. It's on borrowed time. Somebody's going to have to pay the piper. I just don't see how mathematically you can just print money out of thin air for years and years and years like we've been doing without there being some consequence with all this criminality, irresponsibility, all this waste, where only the very people at the very top of the pyramid are getting the money, the bailouts, the help, the reward. But at some point, when you have so much money in this economy now, people getting $600 a week, bonuses up to August, unemployment benefits, stimulus checks, all this money, the trillions that the Fed injected, into the markets. And now you have less goods and services, and all this money chasing less goods, less services. That means the price of things is going to go up. That means that if the airlines cancel half their flights, instead of flying every day, they only have one flight a day to your city instead of 5 flights, or they only have one flight to your city every 3 days instead of every day, they're going to raise the rate of that and cost of that flight. What used to be $300 is now $1,800. And so you have all this money chasing less goods and services. And who's going to be affected here? It's going to be the middle class, and it's going to be the poor.
You and I will be affected.
99% of America is going to be affected. 99% of America will pay the price for what the 1% have done. So while they laugh to all the way to the bank as they run to their islands and their ranches, people are going to be desperate. I mean, it's going to be really scary times.
I agree 100%. That's why you can't find any security. You can't find any security when you go into a store. You can't find any brass because of the uncertainty, and
All sold out.
everything's sold out. Everything is hard to get. Everything has gone up in price. Of course, it's going to take you more dollars to buy that brass.
Yeah, a lot more dollars. A lot. Well, we were paying last year at Walmart when they were actually selling it $6.87 for a box of 59.
$20 now.
$20 now. So that's a 300% markup from where it was a year
And if
ago.
you can find it, that's
If you can find it.
that's
So
the
it's
golden
outperforming
ticket.
literally everything on the market. The brass, a box of brass. So, you know, if you buy security today, you buy brass, it's never going to be worth less. You talk about the two most important assets, security, brass. I mean, you never lose, because the worse times get, the harder it is going to be able to acquire these assets. I want to go over an article on The Hedge today, and it's titled, New York City Cancels Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. All of you know that New York City now looks like something out of a movie. Escape from New York does not do it any justice. Now, 3.5 million people who watch this parade and attend this parade, it's gone. See, what is this going to do to the remaining businesses in New York City? I mean, it's gone.
Oh, it's gonna kill the business, and it won't come back.
I have to agree. It won't come back. I mean, how many of these businesses depend on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? I mean, millions of people watching. It's a tradition. Is New York City just purposely trying to kill off their economy?
That's the question that I need to ask. It's who knows what's happening over there.
I mean, the biggest city in America, it is unbelievable. It is a nightmare.
the mayor and the governor, they're
Like in cahoots to just kill their own city.
they're very
So
not welcoming to
business.
business, and
If you're a business owner in New York right now, what are you thinking?
it's over.
It's over, and that's really sad. I mean, because there's nothing you can really do about it. It's over. I mean, I don't even know how many businesses that are left are going to be completely annihilated after this Thanksgiving. After this is like literally the dagger in the heart, the nail in the coffin right here. Unbelievable. Let me ask you this. Let me get your opinion. Talking about, like we talk about for years about preparation. You were stacking, I was stacking. You were buying security, I was buying security. We were buying brass. You know, we were all on the same page. You people that we were friends with, all doing the same thing. What about the people who haven't prepared? Now they have no job, they have no savings. What's their situation?
Their situation is going to be very dire, very, very complicated, and it's going to be impossible and very hard.
So almost like
try to get anything.
Almost like the business owner in New York, it's over. I mean,
exactly.
And that's what I'm so worried about, because these are the people that are going to be the most desperate, the most needy. These are the people that could be huge threats. Because financially they have not prepared with assets, cash reserves, security, and now it's so late in the game. Like we're literally the Titanic. We've hit the iceberg. The music's still playing, people are dancing, the party continues, but we are taking in water. The ship is beginning to sink. These people, I mean, I really hate to say it, but I think it is over for so many millions.
We have a record-breaking amount of U.S. citizens buying weapons, you know, and it's caused a shortage nationwide. You know, this.
And what is that like? What does that tell you when that many people are doing background checks?
It just tells you people don't trust what's going on,
Yep.
or they don't believe half of what's going on, but yeah,
So-
they want to be prepared for the worst.
So, I mean, one good thing out of all this is I do believe that more people have woken up in the last few months than ever before. But unfortunately, they're the minority. And the masses, I think, are going to pay a huge price here. And every time I go out and look around what's going on, I still can't believe that I see 25, 30 cars at a Starbucks. People still buying $7 lattes. You know, my strategy, and I don't give financial advice, is my strategy is right now to be very, very small. Don't go out making big purchases. Don't spend money you don't have. Whatever you do not use credit. You do not want to get yourself into trouble, especially right now.
Don't add more debt.
Do not add more debt. And if you have a job, if you have money and income, make sure that you're protecting your wealth with assets like gold and silver. I think that those are two of the most important ways to protect your wealth. Not the only two, but the two that I really depend on, because I can't afford to buy a farm or a cattle ranch or a 400-foot yacht or a jet or a security team.
I agree. You know, and it's not getting any better anytime soon. You know, we're 7 months into this thing.
It's going to get much worse to this election.
We got an election coming up within, 7 weeks or so. We're getting very close.
Man, it's close.
So we got to make sure we're all on the same page.
So what do you think is going to happen leading up to the election, and what do you think happens after the election?
I just hope, who we want to win gets elected. I think he will.
And what do you think happens?
I think it'll calm down, but I don't know about this whole infection thing.
Now, see, I think the opposite. I think it's going to get crazy. I think all the way up to the election, it's going to be chaotic. And I think after the election, if who we think is going to win wins.
I think it'll calm down in the COVID, in the infection side. I think it'll calm down. But I do see more violence after he's reelected.
Yeah. So that's something that you really have to think about. And this is a time to really get in a mindset that you could be seeing things change very, very quickly, and things getting very, very extreme socially, financially, politically. And no doubt, I believe that this is spiritual warfare. I'm going to wrap it up here with Sid, but, Sid, what do you want to close with?
I just want to, say that just keep preparing, say your prayers, walk close to God, keep on stacking your metal if you have the means to do so. If you haven't started, you can start now. It's not too late. Get your food, your water in order. Get your house in order. Get supplies, enough supplies to last you 30 days. If a power grid does go out, or we have an EMP attack, or something major happens, we don't know. We have a huge election on our hands coming up. I would tell people to go out and vote and make the right choice. And you know who we're going to choose. That's about it.
It's always these people that go, oh, I don't have enough money. I can't buy any silver. I can't buy any precious metal. But it's always those people. They're always on Facebook holding that $7 latte from Starbucks. Just imagine if you cut 4 coffees out, you could buy an ounce of silver every week. And unfortunately, I think it's so late for so many people because they're so broke now. They're so far behind on their mortgage payments, their rent payments. They continue to spend money on their $7 lattes. And I just think, like, if you're not in the mindset right now, if you have not already begun preparing, it is already too late. I unfortunately believe that so many Americans, millions, are doomed for what's coming. And I believe that we are just going to see the most horrific times in America. So while there's 30 cars at that Starbucks, you need to be the person to be the guy buying that ounce of silver, going to the coin shop, and purchasing, not being the masses. The masses continue to go buy toilet paper in a time of need. The masses are buying Starbucks coffee. You need to be that 1%. You need to think like the 1%. You need to think like the elite. You need to think like a central bank. You need to be buying assets. You need to be worrying about and purchasing security. You've got to worry about your family, your own life. You've got to really get in a mindset of what's coming. And if you don't see what's happening by now, you're going to go off the cliff with the masses. You're going to go off the cliff with the sheep. And I don't want to see that happen to anybody. So even if you're not prepared, like Sid said, do the best that you can. Do something, because if you're doing nothing right now, you're going to be an economic casualty to the greatest depression on earth that history has ever seen. I don't want to see that happen to you. Even the trolls, people who for some reason don't like these videos, don't like me, but watch every night and then want to write a negative comment. And God bless you. I believe that you have the right to do that. But I even worry about you because you're the most unprepared. And so stop taking the time criticizing the videos, being negative, taking the time to write a negative comment. Take that time and get productive. Take that time, and if you can, work some extra hours, go buy some silver. Take that time to get to the range, get to the gym, get in better shape. Train. Take that time to get in a better mental, spiritual, and economic place, because you're going to have to be a very diversified person to survive what is coming. You cannot be one-dimensional. You need to be physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially ready to go, because this thing is going to be insane. So, to these people who are so worried about me and what I'm doing, if I'm making $3 on a Patreon video, look, if you don't want to join Patreon, don't join it. These videos on YouTube are 100% free. I'm just here trying to wake people up, get the word out, be a messenger. I told God I was going to try and do something good in life. And what I'm trying to do is wake people up and save them from the worst depression that we are ever going to see, that anybody's ever seen.
And we're witnessing now.
We're witnessing it right now. The rain is beginning to fall. You better be finishing up your ark, because the door is going to close. And if you're not prepared, you are going to get swept away by the biggest tsunami the world has ever seen. So don't worry about what I'm doing, how much silver Sid's buying, or how much money Sid makes, or what somebody's driving. That doesn't matter. What matters is, what are you doing? What are you doing to prepare? How are you preparing for your family? Can you protect your family? Do you have the assets to financially protect them? Do you have the security to protect them? Do you have a location to go to? Do you have a network, a group of people to turn to in case you need help? Do you have a church that is on board with food, water, security, and an emergency plan? So I think too many people worry about what other people are doing. You need to worry about what you are doing, because at the end of the day, when this whole thing implodes, I'm going where I have to go. It may be to my other location in Texas. It may be up to the mountains. It may be just hunkering right down where I'm at. But I'm going to be gone and out of the picture, like most people. You're going to be left to fend for yourself and your family. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter how much money I make or don't make. Some people say I'm rich. Some people say I'm poor. I'm neither. I'm just a person trying to wake up America before it's too late. That's it. So don't worry what other people are doing. It just blows my mind that, what kind of car does he drive? Where does he live? How much money are you making? Oh, you're charging $3 for Patreon video.
That shouldn't matter.
It doesn't even matter. What matters is, can you take care of your family? Can you take care of yourself from the tsunami that is coming? Look, at the end of the day, I can afford to be 100% wrong. But can you afford for me to be right? And that's the question. And if I'm right, which I believe I am, many people are going to be in very, very big trouble. God bless all of you.
Peace.